See, the sad thing about a guy like you is in about 50 years, you're going to start doing some thinking on your own, and you're going to come up with the fact that there are two certainties in life. One, don't do that. And two, you dropped $150,000 on a fucking education you could have got for $1.50 in late charges at the public library. Or by listening to Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond.
Want to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Master the Art of Connecting and professional speaker Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on the planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
That's the motto. Throw back with no chaser, with no trouble.
Welcome, everyone, to another spectacular episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have the founder of MDA Hospitality Solutions, which trains employees who work in service industries. After spending much of her childhood practically living in hotels, and by the way, she's coming to a hotel from me right now, she has spent a career helping those achieve ideal results, great service, and maximum results across the hospitality industry. Thrive Loud listeners, Mary Dargenis. Mary, how are you today?
I'm awesome. Thanks so much, Lou.
I wasn't kidding. She is in a hotel right now. We have hotel art behind her. So share where you are right now.
I'm actually at the Waldorf Astoria, Washington, D.C.
All right. Well, awesome. Are we in the middle of a work week, or is this for fun and personal activities?
No, this is a work week. We just opened this hotel. It's a fabulous property.
Okay. So let's do this. I want to kind of explain to the listeners a little bit. I want to rewind. I don't want to go all the way to the womb. I want to go. And by the way, it started with a childhood. So maybe explain how hospitality hotels has been an integral part of your entire life.
Thank you very much for asking that question. Well, I was very fortunate. My family loved to travel when I was a kid. And my dad, who was also an entrepreneur, he ran his own business. He designed kitchens. And during the summer, when we were out of school, the second we would get out of school, we'd jump on a plane. And we just basically toured around the country, spending most of our time in Orlando at Disney. But back in the day, when I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones. So my dad used to have to stand at a payphone for hours on end, while my sister and I would just have to sit there and wait. So what we did is we just started exploring the hotels. We'd sit and we'd watch the guests, we'd watch the employees, and that became pretty much our ritual every day. So that's kind of how the journey began in hospitality.
So it began there. And I love people that have figured out that there's a problem in the world. They have a superpower and they're able to fix that problem and make it even better.
Yeah.
Share with the listeners what that is. And I guess that's how MDA Hospitality Solutions came to be.
Yeah, thank you. So after grad school, which I was pre-law in college and then went on to grad school, I had been working for Disney. I started at Disney when I was in high school, and I was making soft serve ice cream cones in Fantasyland. And we were just having a blast. We would have guests look through the windows. And I mean, I was a teenager, and we would see the number of ice cream cones we could, with the swirls going as high as they could without dropping. And I just had so much fun. So I decided that really I need to follow my passion. And that's really where my career started. It started at Disney. I had the great fortune of being a traditions facilitator, which was part of their training program. And then I was an area manager in the Magic Kingdom, which meant that about 5 times a month, we would oversee the F&B operations and ensure all the outlets were fine. After having spent years in the hospitality industry, to include Four Seasons, Mandarin Oriental, Fairmont, I decided that really where I excelled was in delivering profit results for all of my companies that I had worked for and the highest guest satisfaction results. So I founded MDA Hospitality with the intent of focusing on where teams need the most assistance, and that's with training.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. We focus on developing team members so they can be their best, so that they can thrive.
I love it. And that's getting people to do their best in their best.
Absolutely.
I want to hit something that our listeners are probably listening, going, okay, this is pretty cool. This is neat. I've got a question because I'm thinking about it. I know they are. Yeah. We're recording this in June of 2022. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about what the hospitality industry had to go through over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And talk about not only a retraining and a rethinking, but a total change and shift and literally shutdown in some places.
Yeah.
How did your business and what did you see? And how were you able to maybe even help some of these organizations through what had to have been the strangest thing ever that the hospitality industry has ever experienced, certainly in our lives?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the hospitality professionals that endured the past 2 years, that really persevered through that pandemic, and really were some of those that were on the front lines. They were working and servicing guests that were still out there traveling, and also in some cases assisting with medical professionals that were unable, that were having to go work in other areas. So I think that, yes, we underwent a major transformation, but at that same time, I think it allowed for a lot of opportunities to happen in our industry. First and foremost is this virtual connection that we have now. So we're able to capitalize off this technology. But I think when those that were deciding to come back after the pandemic, we see that those that were most interested in hospitality have returned. We also have those that are still coming back. But I think what we were able to capitalize on as well is that training aspect. I think team members have always wanted that training, but now it's like front and center, where companies have also recognized the fact that we need to upskill our teams. We've had team members that have moved from housekeeping into other areas, maybe front desk, have moved into food and beverage. So there's been a lot of cross utilization. And so if you're moving from one area to another, you really need to learn what that's all about.
What would you say is the biggest need from the training perspective? Where's the biggest gap that the existing hotels and hospitality companies have, and they need you to help them with? I'm trying to bridge that gap on where MDA is able to specialize and make them better at that particular skill. Where's the biggest gap?
I think the biggest gap is that sometimes we assume that because someone's been doing a job for 20 years or 15 years, that they know the intricacies of that job. But if you think about it, if I went to a doctor that never upskilled in the past 20 years, I would have a concern going to that doctor. So there's a lot of changes that have happened in our industries. Not only that, we change menus constantly. So the ingredients change, the local producers, what's important to guests, why are we so concerned with what we're putting in our bodies? If we don't educate our hospitality professionals in those areas, then we're missing a key part of how we're connecting with our guests. So really, we're bringing the learning to where it's most important for our team members and where it's most impactful for our guests.
I want to understand from MDA's Hospitality Solutions change before the pandemic and now to this point where we are now. What's, I guess, the best lesson that was learned or the best new practice that you've incorporated into the services that you help your clients? Could be the way that you interact with them or something that you gained that's helped your company and now obviously in turn has helped all of the hospitality companies you help to make better.
Absolutely. So I think two main things come to mind. The first is that we've been able to use technology more and sustain training virtually through the use of QR codes and Microsoft Forms, for example. The other thing that we were able to do is, in the past, it was kind of old school when we would assess teams on their knowledge. It would be on paper. Now we're able to use that. We're able to get results as they're taking assessments. So we pre-assess teams. So when we go into a property and we're working with them, rather than having this off-the-shelf content that we work with, we actually customize the training to what their product is. So we pre-assess them on their current information. We see where they stand. And then we say, okay, we need to focus more on wine or beer or their food knowledge. If they have some of those things down really well, then we're going to dig deeper into that. So we meet them where they want to be met, and we make the content very interesting for them.
Like it. Mary, you've been killing it for a while here. You've been obviously literally living your passion. By the way, I did want to say thank you for the ice cream cone you gave me at Fantasyland at one particular point in time.
Were you a kid then?
I absolutely. Well, I mean, I think I'm a little older than you, but what
Probably
I
not
would
much.
what I would say is I love that you guys were having the wagers on how often those things would fall off, because that's got to
Yeah.
happen every single day. I mean, like, isn't there a quantity control over there at Disney on the height of those things?
Well, there really was, but we kind of pushed the limits.
I know you were like, how big can we make this thing till it falls over? And there's always some, parent going, I can't believe it, and it's dripping all over their fingers. So, but think about this. You've been doing this your whole life and living your passion and doing what you love,
Yeah.
which means that you are truly thriving.
Yeah.
Yet we all have days when we're a little off our game and we're not quite kicking on all cylinders. Mary Dargenis, when you have trouble thriving,
Yeah.
what practice do you seek, or maybe which individual do you seek out to get yourself back on the thriving track?
Well, there's a lot of things that I do to get myself back on track. First of all, I gather a lot of my energy from the team. So the pandemic, while virtual was fabulous, being in the hotels and being with people is really where I get a lot of my energy.
Yeah.
Learning from them, hearing what they feel about their industry really keeps me thinking about how I can make this even better. But things that also I do personally, I love to exercise. I speak a lot to my family, my friends. They're the ones that kind of center you and make you realize that this is why we're doing what we do every day.
Yeah. Mary, I'm dying to know this question here. So you've probably been to, I'm going to go in the hundreds of hotels around there. And I don't want you to pick favorites or not. Is there one particular one you like to go to more often? Like when I have to go to work at that particular site, you're like, I get to go there. That's going to be pretty fun. Is there one that sticks out like that?
I don't want this to sound cliche, but really where I love to go back is where I feel most comfortable around the people. Oh. They always say that the people make a difference in an experience. And that even holds true when you know them, right? So I would say that the properties that I love to go back to are the ones where I felt the most warmth, the most hospitality, and the most love.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for you when you run for office, because you got that political cat there to not upset or make anybody unhappy. Mary, if possible, let's go to the admin part of the show right now. Share with the listeners all the places people can find you, websites, URLs, ways they could learn about MDA Hospitality Solutions so they can connect better with you. But they always do it better when they hear it from you as opposed to us putting in the show notes, which we're going to do anyway.
Well, I think the easiest way is through email, which is mary@mdahospitality.com, my website, mdahospitality.com, and through LinkedIn. I just want to make a comment as well. I do have my LinkedIn business page, but also my last name is D'_ARGENIS. And I know that my dad wanted to change that last name because there's so many issues with the apostrophe, but that's the best way to find me.
For the record, I think it's cool. It's keeping that, keeping the heritage in the name. I think it always works that way. How powerful one little apostrophe can be. All right, Mary, you ready to go down Fun Street with me here on Thrive Loud?
Would love to.
All right, Mary, we got something in common here. One of your favorite movies that you listed is definitely up there. I think it's in like a top 20 of mine, but it's one of those that I could rewatch anytime. Can you share with the listeners the movie you shared with me?
Well, I have tons, but one of my all-time classics is Good Will Hunting.
Why does that movie connect so much with you?
Because I think Matt Damon is genius in how he wrote that and also starred in it. And I think there's so many plots to that, or so many ways in which messages are being sent through that movie. Yeah. So I think it connects with people on many different levels.
Someone made a comment to me, by the way, that movie was made in the mid 90s, and let's not shortchange Ben Affleck, who also wrote it. And that, the mental health issues that have become so much more prevalent in the last 5 to 10 years, mostly the last 5 years, even more so, and specifically with the pandemic, recognizing that aspect when you watch that movie today, and the entire dialogue between the late Robin Williams, who was so great in that movie, just to see that connection be made is just really powerful, and it always gets everybody. That and all the fun stuff that the boys do is just amazing. So
yeah, maybe that should be watched again.
There you go.
Back. Yeah.
You can come back in. All right. We're going to do the speed round here at Fun Street, and I know you can handle it. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way this is going to work is I'm going to ask you some things that are pretty fast questions that I just want you to bring the first thing that comes to your mind. These are things that motivate you, lift you up, make you feel good.
Okay.
They make you thrive.
Yeah.
She's ready. But listeners need to know. She's like, all right, I'm ready. I got this. She's been listening to the show. Okay. Of late, a song that you love to listen to, or maybe one that pumps you up.
I love Tiesto's The Motto.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I'm an electronic dance fan.
Trying to imagine that right now. I got that, big. A lot of lights shining and where you're
Yeah, there you go.
A favorite food that is not a dessert.
Pasta.
Favorite dessert.
Tiramisu.
Favorite thing for you to order in room service.
Ooh, steak.
Oh, steak. You went all the way to the top. I guess that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Mine's definitely like a grilled cheese with like an activity you wish you did more of.
Running.
An activity you wish you did less of.
Ooh, I'm none, actually. I love everything I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mary, if I could snap my fingers and you could be anywhere in the world and you're not working in a hotel, anywhere in the world, where are you?
I'm with my kids.
Ah, awesome. How old are your children today?
10 and 14.
Awesome. Well,
Yep.
Congrats to you. They've got a super mom, got a great business, MDA Hospitality. Listeners, go check it out. Those that are interested as well, check all the links. We'll put all the right spellings
Thank you.
with and without apostrophes appropriately. And thank you so much for coming on Thrive Loud today.
Thanks so much, Lou. I appreciated it.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.